Have you ever wondered why, despite having a whole day, we still can't accomplish everything? I believe you've asked yourself this question before. Like me, we all have 24 hours in a day, but why do some people get so much done while others feel stuck, not progressing? What causes this difference? The answer I realized is how we manage our time. When I look back at the past, I recognize a huge mistake I made. I didn't treat time as a valuable asset that I needed to invest in. Instead, I lived based on impulses, doing whatever came my way, hoping I could finish everything. But what was the result? I always felt busy, but at the end of the day, I hadn't accomplished anything important. Then one day, I heard a quote from someone successful whom I deeply admire. She shared, "Time is your most valuable asset. If you don't manage it, you'll lose it without even realizing it." That statement made me reflect deeply. And then I realized that because I didn't value time, I let it slip by without bringing any real value. In reality, successful people don't have more time than us. They just know how to use their time intelligently and with purpose. Think about someone like Elon Musk. He doesn't have longer days than anyone else, but he has learned to optimize every minute of the day. A prime example is how he organizes his schedule in 5-minute blocks. This doesn't mean you should do the same, but the idea is know what you're doing and why you're doing it. Time is not an infinite resource that we can ignore. It's the most valuable thing we own. When I started to see time as an asset that needs to be managed, I found that not only did I complete tasks faster, but I also felt more satisfied with what I had done. Time became my companion, not something I tried to chase after, and I believe you can do that too. So, if time is the most valuable asset, how can you use it smartly and efficiently? Let's continue exploring small habits that can help you optimize every minute of your day. The answer will be revealed in the next section. Plan the night before. I used to think that all I had to do was wake up in the morning and wing it, do what needed to be done, and it would be fine. But the truth wasn't like that. I'm sure you've thought the same way, just like I did back then. I often started a day with no clear plan. I woke up, had coffee, and hoped everything would fall into place. But in the end, instead of feeling productive, I found myself caught in a whirlwind of busyness with no real progress. The important tasks kept slipping by, and by the end of the day, I felt like I was rushing through life. Then I realized an important truth. The next day cannot start well if you don't prepare the night before. Think about a successful person you admire, like Oprah Winfrey. She always prepares for the next day the night before. Before going to sleep, she plans everything she needs to do the next day, from important meetings to family activities. Oprah shares that by doing this, she can enter each day with clarity and specific goals, rather than starting a new day without direction. This story changed the way I viewed time. Since I started planning the night before, I found that I could focus better on the important tasks without getting distracted by external factors. My time was no longer wasted on trivial things, but I was using it to move toward greater goals. And I realized a valuable lesson. When you prepare for the next day the night before, you not only save time, but also improve your work efficiency. The evening is a golden opportunity to prepare for the success of the next day. By simply spending 10 minutes each night planning for the next day, you will feel more confident, less overwhelmed by unexpected tasks. You will be proactive instead of reactive. And that's the key factor that helps you have a productive day. So, are you ready to turn your evening moments into a tool for creating a productive new day? Next, I will share with you how to start a new day with awareness and clear goals, because a well-prepared morning is the key to a successful day. So, if time is the most valuable asset, how can you use it smartly and efficiently? Let's continue exploring small habits that can help you optimize every minute of your day. The answer will be revealed in the next section. Plan the night before. We've all had those mornings full of confusion, haven't we? You open your eyes, look at the clock, and feel like the whole world is crashing down on you. Just like you, I've had mornings where I didn't know what to do first. I opened my eyes, hurriedly checked my phone, then scrolled through unread emails and unanswered messages. Immediately, you feel like you're swept up in the whirlwind of the world around you, and the new day begins like a storm. But I realized something important. Mornings are the golden time for you to take control of your life. The truth is, the morning can determine the course of your entire day. A famous story about Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, serves as a great example. Every morning, Tim starts his day at 4:30 a.m. He doesn't wake up to check work or react to external demands. Instead, he spends the first part of his morning exercising, reading, and preparing for a day full of purpose. For Tim Cook, the morning is a sacred moment for him to refresh, recharge, and focus on a successful day. Tim Cook's story helped me realize an important point. When you wake up and have a purposeful morning, you won't just start a new day, but you'll create a positive and energetic mindset. You won't wake up to react to the world, but you wake up to take control of that day, to create the day you want to have. You may not be able to change your wake-up time, but you can change how you wake up. And I made this change. Instead of jumping into emails, messages, or notifications right when I wake up, I now spend the first hour of my day focusing on myself. I exercise, journal, or simply reflect on the important goals. This is the time I invest in myself before life starts to overwhelm me. So, are you ready to change how you start each morning? By starting each day with a clear plan and a purpose, you'll not only take control of the morning, but also take control of your life. And to do that, you need to understand how to prioritize the right things right from the morning. Have you ever felt like you're running a race but never reaching the finish line? I felt that way many times. Every day I would race against time, working nonstop, crossing off items from a long to-do list. Yet whenever I looked back, I felt like I hadn't made much progress. I was caught up in the busyness, forgetting my real goals. The problem was, I was spending too much time on things that weren't really important. The problem is, we can easily be deceived by busyness. Do you remember those days when you were only managing to work on one task after another, but in the end, nothing seemed to bring real results? Think about someone like Warren Buffett, who is regarded as one of the world's most successful investors. When asked about the secret to his success, he replied, "Spend 80% of your time on the 20% of work that's most important." He understood that not all tasks are of equal value. Some tasks make you busy, but don't provide long-term value. In reality, successful people aren't always busy. They focus on doing what's truly important, the tasks that will produce clear results. They know how to focus on priorities instead of chasing trivial tasks just to feel busy. Don't let busyness deceive you. Always ask yourself, is this task truly important? Does it bring me closer to my goals? I've learned that instead of trying to do everything, I should focus on the tasks that actually bring value. Every morning I begin my day with a list of priorities, and I only work on the most important things. The less important tasks are either eliminated or delegated to someone else. So how do you identify what truly matters in your life? We'll explore that in the next section on identifying and planning for the most important things. One thing I've learned after trying different time management methods, if it's not on the calendar, it's easy to forget. I used to be someone who thought I could remember everything, all the tasks, appointments, and important duties. I believed I could keep it all in my head without needing to write anything down. But then I realized something. When you don't schedule a task, it's easy to overlook it. Think of someone successful like Elon Musk, who manages multiple companies, including Tesla and SpaceX. One of the secrets to his success is how tightly he manages his time. Every day, Elon schedules every minute of his day. He doesn't let a single minute go to waste. Simply put, if a task isn't on the calendar, it doesn't exist in his day. This helps him maintain focus and ensures everything gets done. When I started using a calendar to plan everything, from meetings to learning time, exercise, and rest, my life became much easier. I no longer had to chase tasks coming from every direction, but I proactively decided when to dedicate time to each task, which made me always feel in control. A calendar is not just a tool for remembering, it's a tool for controlling your life. Without a calendar, you can easily let time slip by without accomplishing what really matters. A calendar helps you identify priorities, allowing you to allocate time to bigger goals and ensuring you're always in control of your work. At first, I thought the calendar was just a tool to record tasks, but now I understand that the calendar is the map, the tool that guides me in the right direction every day. So, how can you use your calendar most effectively? Together, we will explore how to plan and schedule your most important priorities in the next section, so every day of yours becomes meaningful and truly productive. Surely you've been in a situation where you felt like you had to do everything so you wouldn't disappoint anyone, and sometimes you can't say no. I used to be that person. The one who always wanted to help others, always taking on more tasks, joining appointments even when I was already too busy. I thought that by saying yes to everyone, I would help them, and I wouldn't let anyone down. But then I realized that every time you say yes to something unimportant, you're saying no to something more important. Think about a successful person like Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs was a master at saying no. He once shared, "I can do what I do because I say no to everything that's not important." Jobs understood that to make a real difference, he had to protect his time, focusing on the things that mattered most. And learning to say no to unimportant requests was the way Jobs maintained his focus and creativity. Sometimes we feel that refusing will hurt others, but in reality, saying no is how you protect your time and energy so you can do bigger things. When I started learning how to decline invitations and tasks that didn't align with my goals, I found I had more time to focus on what really mattered. Learning to say no is an important part of protecting your time and energy. Saying no not only helps you maintain focus, but it also helps you take control of your life. When you know how to reject what's not truly important, you'll have the space to do the things that help you progress and achieve your goals. So, are you ready to start saying no to things that aren't truly important? In the next section, we will explore how to turn waiting moments into time for growth. We all have those moments of waiting, don't we? Waiting in the doctor's office, waiting for the bus, or sitting through a long meeting. During those times, do you ever feel like you're just wasting time? I used to think that way. During waiting times, I often felt like time was passing by without any purpose. Waiting is never fun, and I would just sit there thinking that if I had nothing to do, that time was truly wasted. But then I realized that waiting time is not wasted time. It only becomes wasted if you let it pass by without utilizing it. Think about Bill Gates. One of the richest and busiest people in the world, Bill Gates always knows how to make use of the small moments in his day. He once shared that during long flights, he didn't just sit there doing nothing. He always brought books or listened to lectures on topics he was interested in. Bill Gates knew that these seemingly useless moments could be turned into time for learning and personal development. And for someone like Bill Gates, those moments are golden. Waiting time is not wasted time if you know how to use it. I started applying this in my own life. When I have to wait for someone, instead of just staring at the clock, I bring a book, listen to a podcast, or jot down interesting ideas. These moments, which once seemed like wasted time, became opportunities for me to learn and grow. Even small moments of waiting can become opportunities for learning and growth. If you use these moments to learn something new, read a few pages of a book, or simply reflect on your goals, you'll be surprised to realize that you can master your time even when you have nothing to do. So, are you ready to turn waiting moments into growth time? Next, we will explore how to delegate, automate, and eliminate. Work smarter, not harder. Have you ever felt like you're doing too much but still not getting anywhere? Do you feel like you're running at full speed but still can't finish everything that needs to be done? I felt that way many times. Working from morning till night, always trying to get everything done on my own, but still feeling like I'm spinning in circles without making any progress. But then I realized an important truth. It's not about doing more. It's about doing the right things and knowing how to divide the work effectively. Think about a successful entrepreneur like Richard Branson, the founder of the Virgin Group. Richard Branson always says that one of the reasons for his success is knowing how to delegate tasks to others. He doesn't try to do everything. He looks for ways to pass on less important tasks to people more talented than himself. This allows him to focus on the truly important and high-value work. Branson understands that to succeed, you can't just work hard. You need to work smarter. You can't do everything yourself. Instead, you need to know how to delegate tasks to others, automate simple tasks, and eliminate unnecessary ones. When I applied this principle to my life, I found work became much easier and more efficient. I no longer felt overwhelmed by everything. Instead, I started dividing tasks effectively, using automation tools to save time and eliminating unnecessary tasks. Don't try to do everything yourself. Learn to delegate tasks to the right people, use technology to automate simple tasks, and eliminate tasks that don't add high value. By doing so, you'll have more time and energy to focus on what truly matters in your life and work. So, are you ready to learn how to work smarter, not just harder? In the next section, we will explore how to end the day with reflection and learning. At the end of the day, do you ever stop and reflect on what has happened? Or do you just rush to end the day and let everything pass without looking back? I used to be someone who would finish a day without ever reflecting on what I had done. As soon as work was done, I just wanted to relax, watch TV, or scroll through social media to forget about the day's stresses. But then one day, I heard a quote that made me stop and think, "You cannot improve if you don't look back on what you've done." And that was when I realized that a vital part of personal development is reflecting on the day to learn and improve. Think of successful people like Oprah Winfrey. Every evening, Oprah spends at least 10 minutes reflecting on the day. She thinks about what went well, what needs improvement, and the lessons she learned. Oprah says this helps her start the new day with confidence and a clear sense of purpose. And more importantly, this practice helps her maintain calm and focus throughout her busy life. That reflecting at the end of the day not only helps you recognize your achievements, but also helps you learn from your mistakes. I began applying this habit to my life. Every evening, I spend a few minutes writing down my thoughts and feelings about what I've done during the day. I don't just look at the successes, but also recognize the mistakes and think about how to do better the next day. And surprisingly, just a few minutes of reflection each day has made me feel more mature and better over time. Taking time to reflect on the day helps you recognize what went well and what needs improvement. When you end the day with reflection, you don't just look back at what you've done, but also learn from those experiences. You don't miss the opportunity to improve yourself, and each day you live becomes a valuable lesson. So, are you ready to end each day with learning and growth? In the next section, we will explore how to maintain discipline to achieve long-term goals. Have you ever wondered why some people can maintain healthy habits, achieve their goals, and continuously succeed while you find yourself quitting halfway? I've been in this situation many times. I set goals for myself, full of enthusiasm at the beginning, but after a short time I'd feel tired and give up. I realized that it wasn't due to a lack of motivation, but because I lacked discipline. Think of someone like Michael Jordan, who is regarded as the greatest basketball player of all time. Not only was he talented, but what made Jordan a legend was his discipline. Every day, even as a superstar, he would spend hours practicing and improving his skills. Michael Jordan's story isn't just about raw talent, but about the persistence and incredible discipline he built every day. He understood that without discipline, even talent wouldn't be enough to bring you success. Discipline is not something you can learn in one day, but it's something you build through small, daily habits. I began to realize that discipline isn't about forcing yourself, but about doing the right things even when you don't feel like doing them. Discipline helps you stay on track and persevere with your goals, even when things get difficult. Discipline is the key to maintaining consistency in action, and from that, bringing you closer to success. When I started building discipline in my life, I no longer gave up halfway. Instead, I persevered with my goals, day by day, and I realized that discipline, though hard at the beginning, is what will help me achieve great things in the future. So, are you ready to build discipline in your life and be the one who goes from dreams to success? In the next section, we will explore how to design a life worth living one day at a time. Finally, have you ever asked yourself if the life you're living is the one you truly want? I've asked myself this question many times. There were days when I felt like I was living a script written by someone else, doing things I wasn't truly passionate about. But then I realized that life isn't something we simply wait for or follow. Life is something we design and create each day. Think of someone like Tony Robbins, one of the world's most famous life coaches. He always says that to live a successful and happy life, you have to be the one to design your life. Instead of letting life happen randomly, you need to have clear goals and take action every day to achieve what you want. Tony Robbins has not only helped millions of people change their lives, but is also proof that a person can design a life they love, starting with small decisions every day. Life isn't something that happens randomly. If you don't proactively design your life, you'll live according to someone else's design. But when you understand that every day is an opportunity to create the life you dream of, you'll start taking responsibility for the decisions you make. From choosing what's most important, planning, learning from each day, to maintaining discipline, every small action contributes to creating a meaningful and valuable life. Your life is the result of the choices and decisions you make every day. So, instead of letting time pass meaninglessly, design each day with purpose. You can start with small changes, positive habits, and gradually you'll see your life not only change in a positive direction, but become more meaningful than ever before. So, are you ready to design a life worth living, one day at a time? Start today, step by step. And remember, when you begin living with purpose, you'll create a life that you'll be proud of. Because the life you're living right now is the result of the actions you take every day. Thank you for following along and being part of this journey. Let's design a life worth living, one day at a time.